Loan options AI. And I mean, what are you seeing, like a large uptick in that with refinancing and people trying to, get back on top of things? Or
Yeah, absolutely. And so you have two sides, right? There's the consumer, the sort of mum and dad, PAYG employee, just, works full time. Those people are doing debt consolidations because they've run up credit card debt over Christmas, or, through the COVID period where things were a bit tougher for them, they kind of leaned on credit. Interest rates were cheap. Now rates are a lot higher. So people, the mortgage payments, in some cases double what they were paying before. Rents have gone up. Cost of living's gone up. So they're looking for ways to sort of get that budget relief. So we're doing a lot of debt consolidations there. But really, on the commercial small business owner side, the biggest problem we're seeing is cash flow, and in particular, consolidation of debt for ATO payments. So
I'm no expert on economics or anything, but it just seems like they got it the opposite. And anyone can weigh on this from here, you guys, but it just feels like when they did the COVID response and they were handing out all this money during 2020 and 21, I don't know why they were handing things out, and now they're coming down hard. The ATO is coming down hard on businesses and stifling growth, when really what probably shouldn't have happened is don't hand out money, just give them tax breaks. If you give them tax breaks, then people will act. You might actually find, like the US found on 5 or 6 occurrences, that their net tax collection increased when they did it. I think Kennedy, Reagan, number of US presidents, the Democrat and Republican, they've reduced tax rates, and they actually found they collected more taxes because people were less inclined to dodge, people were less inclined to deal in cash, people were happy to play the book. They didn't feel like they were being hard done by. But we've got it the opposite now, and now we're punishing businesses, punishing growth, punishing entrepreneurialism. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of things you guys have wanted to do, and your new business ventures, and this has just been sort of hanging over your head. I mean, tell me.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. The strategy was totally wrong, and a lot of people would like to say, oh, we didn't know what we didn't know, and but like a lot of people called this. I did. I did a presentation, through the campaign, and I spoke about how rates were going to go to over, 3.5%, and I laid out how that was going to be. And at the time, Andrew Charlton and his team, they all laughed. It was like this was like
the economist, Andrew Charlton, who did the economics for who? Which prime minister?
They asked me what
Kevin Rudd.
Yeah,
Kevin Rudd.
Have you had a chance to actually speak to Andrew Charlton since regarding this particular topic? Because that would have been an interesting conversation.
No. I've tried to suppress those memories that I'm dealing with it the best way I know how, and just focus on what I can control.
Post-traumatic stress disorder, yeah.
Well, look, they laughed and said, what economics degree do you have? And, but a lot of people were calling it. I wasn't the only one. It's not like, there was people that were saying this is not the right way to do it. And tax breaks are great, but really just let businesses run their operation and get out of their way. It comes down to just over-policing. You just can't tell people now that, the rates are going up because we're trying to control inflation, when a lot of that is outside of the average Joe's control. The process of increasing rates, to stop inflation, when a lot of it's driven by supply demand on property. This is where, they've made mistakes. They've, put us in this position. They've let, sort of record numbers of, immigration, and the housing supply is just not there to support it.
Yeah, we're going to get into that in the council story as well. No, absolutely. Ben, you're busting to say something, I can see.
Oh, I was just going to say about what the ATO is trying to do now is they've moved into bringing in AI, and that's going to assess all tax returns, look for errors, look for people who owe money, and pursue it in almost a robo-debt style thing. I mean, that's some of the things I've heard that they're looking at bringing in to the ATO. Now, if you look at that, why do we continually push this thing of overtaxing the community, overtaxing Australians? I mean, why do we do it? Look at Dubai. Dubai doesn't charge income tax. Sure, they've got a large income from commodities and other means, but where does everyone go to do their business? They go to Dubai. Why do they go to Dubai? Because they have fair tax rates. Well, no income tax.
5% now, apparently.
Oh, 5%, unless they've changed it recently, yeah.
So they have no PAYG equivalent tax under, I think, 75K a year. And then it's 9%, 5% like GST VAT is what they're, so it's half of ours. And then it's 9% above the 75K, whatever it is, I believe. So It's very, it's
Reasonable.
it's minimal. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think one thing Australians need